Hello, I'm Brian Short, and here's today's professional mortgage moment. How many of you have ever gone to the carnival or gone to the fair and have been faced with a jar, maybe in an office pool even, been faced with a jar of beans or jelly beans or all kinds of different things that you might find in a jar, and they would ask you to guess how many are in the jar. And if you win, if you guess, then maybe you'll go ahead and win the prize. How many beans are in the jar? Well, you're wondering, what do beans in the jar have to do with a mortgage transaction? Well, there's a lot of mortgage professionals out there that are doing the same thing when it comes to your mortgage transaction. They're simply guessing how many beans are in the jar. Or more importantly to you, how much money are you going to need to bring to your closing? Or how much will this cost you every month after we close on your home? Or how much do we need the seller to pay in order to cover your closing costs? There's all kinds of very important numbers in a mortgage transaction, and simply guessing is not a way to arrive at a closing table with very much peace of mind or really having a feel for how this whole transaction is going to fit into your monthly budget. One of the things that we do with our mortgage customers is that I provide a detailed list even before we begin the transaction of what are your costs going to be, how much are the seller going to pay, how much is this going to mean to you monthly, and how much are you going to have to come up with at the bottom line. Now, this little loan proposal I email out to all of my prospective loan clients, and actually they find it very helpful. Oftentimes I'll send out 2 or 3 of these even, to where they can compare this one with the other one and to see which one is going to best fit into their monthly budget and fit into how much they've got in the bank right now, to see if this transaction really is going to fit their needs. Now, how important is that to you? Well, you can only imagine going to the closing table, not knowing how much to bring to the closing table, or not knowing maybe until just a few hours before the closing to find out, scurrying around trying to find the money to close on the home or on the refinance. So leaving it to those who are simply guessing how many beans are in the jar, making an estimate, could be devastating on a closing day. One of the other extra advantages to working with a mortgage professional like someone like me is that we'll provide the detailed closing statement. Even 24 hours in advance of your closing, you will be able to get a copy at your request of one of these detailed settlement statements to show how much you're bringing to the closing, how much the seller is going to be bringing to the closing, if anything, or even making at the closing. It also goes into a lot of detail in terms of what are all the costs involved in this transaction and how close did we come, and if there are any changes, why did the changes take place? Now, all this is going to be very important to you. One of the things I want to make sure my mortgage customers don't have is any surprises at the closing table. I don't want you to have to guess or to estimate or to wonder or to lay in bed at night or to be sitting there wondering if I'm ever going to call you to find out how much you're going to need to bring to the closing table or what your payments are going to be on a monthly basis. I want to give you peace of mind when it comes to your mortgage transaction. You can be assured of that. That's a guarantee on the front end. Not only do we give you the proposals, but we give you the final settlement statement even before you go into the closing table. Leave the guessing to how many beans are in the jar, or how much money you need to bring to your closing table, or how much is this mortgage transaction or this new house payment going to cost you every month. Leave that to the carnivals and the county fairs, because I can assure you, you won't need that when you come work with a licensed mortgage professional like Brian Short at AmeriFirst Home Mortgage. This has been your professional mortgage.